Okay, let's begin. Welcome to the City Video Show.
Thanks, Megan. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
My second appearance.
Yeah, second. You will have third, I guess.
We'll see how the second goes.
Yeah. Okay. Great. That's very fair. And
No, I'm just kidding. Always happy to see you.
Yeah. And also, like, we save some time. You can start ordering food.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Then we talk while they prepare the food.
Nice.
You want some vegetables? Actually, today I just little bit changed the schedule. I won't eat anything today myself because I watch my weight every morning. And then yesterday my daughter asked me to have the almond cocoa breakfast this morning.
Yeah?
Jeez, I cannot refuse.
I thought it was eat with the owner. Now it's eat alone.
Yeah, eat alone. But I watch.
Okay, eat alone and you watch by owner.
Seriously,
Okay.
I had a big breakfast at almond cocoa. So
That's nice.
really crazy. If I have the lunch again, and then the weight will be really crazy. That will be out of control. I don't feel like I feel lose control of need a week to recover.
Yeah. Well, I had noodles yesterday, so maybe I'll have some rice and some nice dish to put with rice.
You can have two. Like, do you want to?
I'll have leftovers.
Yeah, leftover. Yeah, I can take it home.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. Mm. How are we looking?
Looking great. Even better.
I feel like with Chinese food, I'm always ordering some of the same dishes. Like I'm always like General Tao. Yeah, I'm gonna get General Tao.
Yeah, Chinatown.
Beef and broccoli. I'm always gonna get beef and broccoli. But maybe I should get one that's more
Traditional.
traditional, more adventurous. You know.
How about the spicy food?
I like some spice.
How about this one?
Warning, high risk.
Yeah,
not
the
terrible.
one. Yeah, pointing to this one also. Warning. You want to try this one? The Sichuan pork. It's spicy. Also the Sichuan peppercorn.
So why do you say high risk, not to your liking?
Because most likely, if you're not familiar with like traditional Chinese food, most probably you won't like it. But some people are gonna order it by the name. They look at the name. Oh,
Spicy
sounds nice.
chicken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds nice. But you know, it's,
Okay.
or they have the similar name in other Chinese restaurants, but it's a very different thing there.
Mm.
I want twice cooked pork. This one is a little bit crazy. This one is supposed to put the high risk as well.
High risk.
It's a pork belly. A lot of people they don't like pork belly. It's too greasy.
Yeah, I'd love to try the
Try that one?
twice cooked pork.
Yeah. Okay, another one genital chicken, right?
Perfect.
And you want a little bit vegetable? The green beans, dry fried green beans. That one is always popular.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get that and the rice and one beer.
Okay. Are you having a beer with me?
No, I brought tea.
How about we start with tea?
Okay. No beer?
Early in the day for me. Early in the day.
Okay.
Tea will be nice. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
I was going to pour the tea, but I don't know if that's customary or not. Maybe the owner, or in some cases, like the elder person, is supposed to be pouring the tea. Is this still the podcast when you're a guy?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just saying to the camera.
Yeah.
I was about to pour the tea, but then I stopped. Because in some cultures it's like the respected person should pour.
Oh, yeah.
For example, in Korea, it's kind of like the elder person should pour. Are there some manners about who pours and how you pour tea in China?
I guess my generation, or at least me, we break all the traditions. Supposed to be, I guess, if
what's the traditional way?
Yeah, if it's formal dinner or something, it's supposed to be a junior serving.
Okay.
The seniors.
So I should serve.
No, you are the guest. Guests always have one level up. You upgrade one level. I guess if you're a guest,
so
automatically.
There's different levels to consider.
But I think the young generation, we kind of think it's too complicated,
Yeah.
Too much things to do. Taking too long. Especially when you're drinking the Chinese liquor, that's a big thing. So.
Thank you. Do you worry about losing old traditions?
Myself, no.
No. You don't. It's like some people would probably say it's sad. Oh, we're losing all the traditions of the past.
My take is like if you see a beautiful tradition and if people are practicing that tradition, I always like. But if ask me to do it, I don't do it that way. Something is beauty, always appreciate. I always like, okay, or like people even kimono dress, right? But if you wear that kimono dress and it's taking forever, right? Because you are in a rush, you don't want to spend so much time to do the kimono. It's looking pretty.
Yeah.
So it's the Chinese tradition as well, especially a lot of in the countryside. They're still preserving the traditional way of doing things, even the wedding. Wedding, like the bride, first time, they use usually a vehicle or a motorcade or whatever. Yeah. So bring the bride to the new home. Yeah. In the yard, usually we have we set a fire in a big basin or big like what is that called? Like this round, but you set fire on top of it inside. So you set like bonfire.
Okay.
In the middle of the yard.
In the middle of the yard. Yeah.
So the bride has to walk over.
The bride.
Yeah.
With a wedding dress.
With that time, the wedding dress is Western. Fire. No, it's the new dress thing. The white dress. Is more Western.
That's Western.
But the tradition is you see the red thing. So everything red, but still easy to walk.
Wow.
So you go over the fire. It means something you from the past to the future or whatever. I don't know. But it used to be there.
Wow.
When I was a child.
And then someone caught on fire and they said, okay, we have to stop this.
There's a lot of things. The wedding was, traditional wedding in the village was really the whole day celebration thing.
Wow.
Yeah. And also they make fun of the male, like young people, young guys, connect to the groom to make fun of.
What do you mean connect?
Like direct relative or direct family, or the cousins, they make fun of them and throw them to the bride. Bride usually sitting quietly in her new room, and so all kind of nonsense. But it's part of tradition. I don't think people are going to practice that way today. It looks like a little bit, I don't know. But it's beautiful.
Making fun of her or something. Yeah.
But if you put that in a film, a lot of people did that already. A documentary, like a traditional Chinese wedding in a village, it would be really interesting, I guess.
I think there's some culture, and I'm not even going to guess where it is because I'm completely forgotten. But the tradition is that you steal the bride. So it's like the men go to the house of the bride and take her in the car and bring her to the husband.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, because in the old days it was like on horses. I guess I can only imagine there was a time when the bride was stolen, and now it is a couple has agreed to get married, and then they reenact the stealing of the bride. But
Viking days.
Yeah. Cheers, again.
Cheers. Actually, how's right now officially before the monkeypox, the pandemic, at least virus is the COVID is done, right?
Yeah.
So officially COVID done, and then monkeypox is coming.
COVID's done?
Yeah, COVID is done.
Are you sure?
But you travel, right? You travel.
I haven't seen any news stories about it for a while, but
you in the last year you have no restrictions on the travel, right?
Yeah, there's no restrictions. Yeah, I don't think there's anywhere that even is asking for vaccination status or definitely no quarantine. I mean, that's all.
No mask, no.
Yeah,
Nobody asked at least.
most of it ended 2022. A few places 2023. I think Japan was one
What
of the
was
last
the
to
Shanghai?
open.
The Shanghai lockdown was 2023, I believe, right? The big news that time.
When it started?
No, the lockdown zero policy in Shanghai. That's 2023, I believe, April.
Wasn't it 22?
No, 22 was a little bit. Even the rest of the world was a little bit worried.
Okay.
22. So
Wow.
pretty sure 2023. So April of 2023. Yeah. That time was.
The whole time just feels like a blur to
Yeah.
me. The years almost feel like they're not real because, I mean, as of this summer, I've lived 5 years in Montreal,
Okay.
but it feels closer to 3 because there's 2 years.
Yeah,
I don't think
fine.
about those 2
Yeah,
years.
it's fair to
You know?
to subtract, take
Yeah.
2 years off. Being in the restaurant for me is the beginning of pandemic. It's 4.5 years. So it's like, to be fair, to take 2 years out of the
2.5.
yeah, 2.5 years.
Still new.
But how like since last time we sit together, probably 2 years already.
Mhm.
How's your travel? Like still everywhere?
Yeah, probably less than before, but since then, if we're talking about 2022, since then I did a Europe trip I've done 2 Europe trips since then.
I had a lot of countries, cities.
Yeah, I did. One of them, I spent 5 weeks and I went to at least 8 or 9 cities.
And
So-
Lisbon as well. I saw.
Lisbon was fun, Berlin, Amsterdam, London, Paris. I went to Morocco.
Jeez.
Where else? I went to Prague in Czech Republic. I went to another city in Germany where I was visiting friends. And yeah, I mean, I was jumping all over the
That's
place.
easily like 30 cities, more than 30, 40 years. 30, 40 cities. That's crazy, right?
I've been to a lot of cities.
And then like, is that a
Yeah.
lot of expense or that's a lot of people, the whole life they haven't traveled
Yeah.
to that many cities.
I mean, I've been lucky that for a little while the video series I was doing was getting a lot of views, and so it was literally the faster I work, the more money I'm making, and so I was actually traveling faster than I would have liked to. I like to spend at least a week in every city,
Okay.
if possible. Oh wow!
Do you wanna
You sure you're not gonna eat with me?
Do
Look
you
at all those.
do you wanna have a challenge you finish by yourself?
No, I'm gonna be here for 2 days.
So 3
Thank
dishes.
you. Even those beans is like a full meal, man.
Yeah, it's the portion is not bad. Even still, some people complain the portion is too small, but
Think so?
I think it should be fair, right? It's fair
Oh
portion.
yeah.
But I saw your like the series of the language different cities. That's amazing. So you
Yeah,
kind of
I guess that's new since we talked last. Right?
Yeah.
That's new. Yeah.
it's amazing. So every city you ask people how many languages they speak. Majority of people speak more than one language, right? I guess. Or what's your experience with the people on the street?
Yeah, most places speak more than one language, except if you go to America. Then sometimes
English.
English speakers are obviously very low on the list.
Because they don't have to. It's the motivation.
But also there's a bias. For example, when I was in Prague, generally Europeans speak a lot of languages. But people from the Czech Republic, for some reason, it's hard to say. I might have just got unlucky because people in the comment section said, no, like everyone here speaks English. That wasn't my experience. I met a lot of people who, like basically I approached strangers and I quickly explained, hey, I'm doing a video series about languages, asking people how many languages they speak. It'll just take a moment. Are you interested in being in the video?
Okay.
I try to keep it short because these are real people. They have their lives.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to explain everything, I can't tell my life story.
Give me
right?
30 minutes.
Yeah. You try. If you're stopping strangers on the street, you have to respect their time.
Yeah.
So I try to do that.
They catch a train.
But a lot of people in Prague just didn't understand me. They didn't even have enough English to.
Okay.
They just said like, "Oh, no English" or something. And someone told me something interesting, which is because it used to be part of the Soviet Union. There was, and in general, they've had a tough history there.
Okay.
Like some countries are less trusting of strangers.
Okay.
So even people who speak a bit of English might just say no, because they don't want to be on camera or they don't know who I am. It's like some generational thing,
But for me, I probably would be
Yeah.
the same. I don't want to be on camera.
Yeah, and it's totally fine. I never. If someone says no, it's always like, okay, thanks, have a great day. It's not like, why not? You have to.
But is that
You gotta respect the people.
could that be possible? It's like the city. It's like if it's international more, like because some city more developed, so people they had more chance to study English as the foreign language, right? To have the language skill. If it's like a city of like a little bit more closed, so people just speak their own native language all day long, right? Is that possible? If more open, more developed, like a big city like Madrid, or like what is another, like Berlin or something.
Yeah, Berlin is
so you see
so many languages. London, so many languages.
Yeah, even Berlin, like if it's very developed city, so the people they get more educated, they probably have more chance to study a foreign language, right?
Yeah, and it's also there's always the question of if I go to Berlin and I'm interviewing 20 strangers, for example. Berlin has a lot of immigrants from all over, and it's just this is mostly random. And so if I randomly ask 10 people, and then I might think, oh, only one person I spoke to was actually German. Like, you know what I mean? I spoke to like 2 tourists. I spoke to like 2 immigrants from Turkey, and then I met someone from Spain. And then if I do that, there will be comments like, oh, what happened to Germany? Where are all the German people? Or there'll be like that kind of message. But on the other side, if I were to only show Germans, like people who are ethnically German, it would be unfair because immigrants in that city would feel like
representative.
Yeah, I don't want someone who is like, Middle Eastern living in Berlin because there's a lot of Arabic speakers there. I don't want them to think like, I don't exist to you. You don't think I'm German. So there's some responsibility, I think, to make the video look like the city actually looks. And, not to... You see some street interviews where they're only interviewing like young, attractive people, like I want to get older people too, because older people often have very interesting things to say. But again, sometimes they're not as comfortable on YouTube or they don't understand what YouTube is. But anytime I've interviewed someone who's like in their 70s or 80s, they're always like very interesting to talk to.
You got a lot of experience, especially they seeing the changing world recently, so they got a lot of things to say.
Pardon me. I talked to someone who was 92 years old in London, and he spoke better than Biden. He was very clear, very smart, very good hearing.
I bet he's conservative. That generation.
Yeah, I mean, I asked him. It was another series. I don't really do this anymore, but I used to also ask people, what's something you love about your city? What's something you hate about your city?
Oh, yeah.
So I asked him, what's something you love about London? What's something you hate about London? And then, of course, you fear with an older person. It's too many immigrants, or like something that people are like, oh, man.
Brexit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I hate that, because older people can become stuck in their ways sometimes. But this guy, he was very good energy. He was like, I love everything about London. He's like, he quoted someone who famously said, if you're not in love with London, you're not in love with life, or something. Like he gave some like poetic answer about that.
Oh.
So he was a very like big spokesperson for London. And the only thing he hated was he complained about the traffic. He said, he lives in the suburbs and it's really hard for him. He took a taxi and there's all these restrictions on where the taxis can drive.
But right now, it's like if you live that long and if you're seeing a lot of things, you always have a lot of angles to complain. Like we live in Montreal, a lot of things to complain about Montreal. At the same time, a lot of good
Yeah.
things about Montreal too.
One of the reasons I stopped doing that question is, first of all, some people said, "Why are you asking people what they hate? Why don't you ask people what they don't like?" Because hate is
It'll be negative.
hate gets more clicks. Like people
Yeah.
see the word hate in the title, it gets people to click. But yeah, one person I asked said, I'm not a hater. I don't hate anything. I was like, oh, good answer. Like it's good not to hate anything if you can do that. But also people might give, for example, if I ask that question in Montreal, there's like safe answers. The safe answer here is, I hate the construction.
Yeah,
the roads.
That's consensus.
Because everyone will agree with that.
Everybody will agree.
There's more complicated answers you could give, but not everyone wants to like get into some big discussion,
Yeah, I have seen different systems. Like I would say like.
I could ask you. What's something you love about Montreal? What's something you hate?
I said before, I guess, but like construction is always on the list, and I know the reason also. I guess it's 100% sure it's corruption. The construction is always a big business, big money. So if you manage the public money, and it's not your own money, and if you award that contract to certain people and you have some back deals, why not?
It's really good, by the way, the pork.
Yeah, it's if you like the pork belly, it's good. And the Korean people, they like that. I guess Korean people and Chinese people, we share the love for the pork, and also I guess Portuguese as well. Portuguese people, they are big eater of pork, because we have some customers they mentioned to me from Portugal, they love pork as well. Or Spain, I probably both of them. Probably Spain. Or both, they like pork.
All I know about Portugal is they love their roasted chickens.
Oh yeah, piri.
Piri, yeah.
Is the Portuguese word or just like a fancy word or like?
Excuse me.
Piri.
Yeah, I don't know the meaning of it, but I know it's a bit of spice is starting to get me.
Don't eat the red chili. The red chili is no problem.
I like the spice, but it's hard when you have to talk to. There's one famous Portuguese restaurant in the Plateau Montreal neighborhood. It's called La Poulet Moulin.
I guess a lot of good
restaurants. It means like the wet chicken, basically.
Jeez.
This place always has a lineup. Excuse me. Always has a big lineup at the door. It's so big that I don't go there much in the summertime because it's just there's too many people.
I never line up. I never wait. Even it's super good.
But recently I was craving chicken, so I went there and I lined up. And do you remember maybe a week ago? It was maybe less than a week ago. It was smoky. Like the sun was kind of red. Maybe you were just working and you missed it, but it was very smoky outside for 1 or 2 days.
People burning wood.
I think it's the fires all the way from Western Canada.
Oh, they blow here.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All the way across from BC or whatever. Anyway, the air was smoky, and also the restaurant inside is kind of smoky because they're roasting the chickens. Yeah. And I'm lined up, and I see this kid. He's 20 years old, and he fainted. He just. At first, I thought it was a joke. He just started to and then he just kind of fell.
Jeez.
And there were people around. I couldn't tell at first if they were his friends or not because no one reacted. They were all just kind of no one was helping him. And then a moment later, they're like, "Hey man, you okay?" And then I was close enough that I saw what was happening, and I saw the counter that we were ordering from. I immediately went, "Hey, someone needs help," But they were very busy. They didn't really fully understand. So someone passed me a water, which was good. He needed water, so I gave him the water bottle. And then when he finally stood up, he was like, "What just happened?" He had no idea what was happening. And I told them they were like, "You should get him outside. It's really smoky in here. If he's having trouble breathing or something, he should sit outside." His friends were. I don't know if they were close friends or not. I don't.
But that sounds
cold. They really weren't reacting.
Yeah, that's a cold.
Yeah, I don't know if it was. I told this story to a friend of mine, and she was like, Kids these days.
Maybe this the Fatima
Yeah.
or something, right? Probably people like.
No, I think they were American tourists. I think it was like I really don't know, actually. I don't know what it was. I was thinking it could have been the air quality, but also some people have conditions where they just faint. Like, I don't know if that happens to him
But
sometimes.
usually, like in Montreal, if
But-
that emergency happen, a lot of people would come to help, right? Usually.
Yeah, it was just surprising. Like, I don't know if
Or somebody
I don't know if
from
you or any viewer has been in that situation where like something really bad is obviously happening,
Mm.
but no one around you is reacting.
Jeez.
I was like, surely like the friends or like someone is going to like step into action, but I just felt like, am I the one who has to like save this kid? And thankfully he was okay a bit later, but
Sometimes people
it was weird.
sometimes people get scammed too many times, so they kind of avoid those kind of situations to be liable or something.
Mhm.
It happened to China before, like 10 years.
Yeah, you get cold.
Mm.
You get cold in your heart.
Maybe I explained to other people on the video or you or before,
Mm.
like starting 10 or 15 years ago, it's a phenomenon in China. Like when you cross street,
Yeah.
like the old people, the grandma, grandpa, they fell or in accident. The young people, the middle-aged people, like your 30s, 40s, they came to help. For example, the old lady get injured in an accident, but the guy ran away. Who's responsible?
Uh-oh.
Took off. So some stranger came to help the old lady. Then the old lady said this guy who helped her was the guy responsible. That was
So it's a scam.
It's not a scam.
Or
it's
she's
a real,
confused. She's
no,
confused about
she just tried to get the money from somebody because the guy took off.
Oh no.
And so that thing, and also it went to the court. The court ruled against the helper, against the guy. And the guy ended up paying a lot of money to the old lady. The old lady lied, but she got rewarded. Then that thing went popular on internet. After that, nobody helped. It's very, very popular on the internet that time, about 10, 15 years ago.
Wow.
I'm Chinese, I read Chinese, so
Yeah.
sometimes the news came to me through.
You don't think it was one of those fake news stories?
No. That's the thing.
Do you worry about that today? Fake news?
No,
You know, people talk about Russia as making fake news and stuff like that.
it's better to just, for me it's very easy because I live through different worlds. I know a lot of things. I'm cynical. A lot of time I think I'm cynical because I question a lot of things. So I'm easy to fool, but I always like check different things. I came from China, so it's a very different system.
Like, what is something you are cynical about?
Sometimes you don't, when you read some news, I'm going to double check with other sources a lot of times. Even I read, for example, like very popular item, the popular news on the Chinese internet.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, and then the first thing I'm going to Google it in English. That's why, like, you always double check for the news. You want to check, you Google it from different websites, different outlets to see like, are they reporting the same thing?
Yeah. You remember when Trump was shot?
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about this, but people were...
They said
there was conspiracies that, well, he set it up, it was fake.
Yeah, that one
he didn't actually get his ear hit. Like, all these people are cynical about everything. They can't even believe the president was shot.
That's totally cynical. That's the different level of cynical. That's kind of stupidity.
People have stopped thinking about reality.
Yeah, exactly.
They think the whole world is a movie now.
If you stage a shot, you don't shoot near the head. You do the stomach, whatever you can save yourself in case you miss, or like you cannot be that like millimeter accurate, right? If you miss anything to your ear or head, you're dead. So what is you don't fake that way.
That's very true. If they wanted to fake it,
you shoulder or chest or leg.
He could have had a bulletproof vest
exactly.
and then shoot him in the chest, and he still would look like a hero. He'd get up and look strong.
Exactly.
But it'd be easy. There'd be no risk.
Even you don't wear the jacket. You get blood. You get any injury alongside your heart or the head. You can save. you suffer some, but you gain more, right? You kind of suffer more, gain more, but you don't end up being dead. The brain, you never playing the bullet around your head. So that's kind of the people
1 inch away.
yeah. So that's top level, but you don't. The people thinking that stage, it's kind of, I guess it's not reasonable at all. You have to have kind of little bit reasonable. Otherwise, like I at the beginning I thought only like the bottom 1% of the IQ people would think that being staged, but then probably more than 1%. That shows the problem of the society. If the society have more than 10% of people like to that kind of level, both sides, that's a little bit worrisome. If 1% of the people crazy, 1% of this side crazy, 1% of other side crazy, that's a very normal society. I guess even a good society, if you keep them only 1% of crazy people. But like
what percent are crazy right now? What do you think?
I guess 10%. 10% of both sides.
And in Canada too?
Canada
are we just as crazy as US?
No, Canada is more quiet. But I guess for me, probably Canada is more too nice people. When you are too nice, you lose the cynical part.
Yeah.
When you are cynical, sometimes you get it correct. When you suspect more, but you are less easily to be fooled. But you are so kind, so nice, and you take people's words too easily, and then sometimes the bad people, they just fool you. So but nowadays you don't know who's good or bad, because a lot of them they try to do things by their own judgment is good, but in reality it's lying. But some people, they think I'm lying to help you. Some people like that.
Wait, what do you mean lying to help you?
To tell the story narrative, but they think it's for the good for the whole society. Even the COVID, during the COVID, sometimes things too strict, sometimes things too loose. But some people, if they prefer the strict rules, they probably think a big picture for the whole society. If everybody is responsible, everybody wearing masks, everybody taking the shots, vaccination, probably they're going to get control more easily, right? So it just probably people think at different levels. So on this level, this group of thinking could be bad. But if you move another level up, probably there's reasons for that.
I mean, I remember, a long time ago when like marijuana was first, I won't say discovered, because different regions have had it for a long time, but early 20th century, it started to become more and more popular with like jazz musicians in America, and like certain communities knew that it existed, and then the government would say like, oh, it's going to make you crazy. There was all this propaganda about how it's going to make white women want to sleep with black men and stuff like that, because this was seen as like an awful thing back in the 40s or 50s. And so the government probably thought, okay, we know we're making this up, but we're doing it for you, because we know this is bad, so we make up these scary stories to help you.
Yeah, that's very typical. Yeah, very typical. They think it's for good for the whole society, whole country.
But when people later discover they were lied to, it makes you cynical, and it makes you not trust the government as much.
That's true, though.
Yeah. What about aliens? You think they're lying to us about aliens?
I don't think so. I don't. No, I don't think alien exists, because if they imagine the difficulty, we move from Earth to Mars. The difficulty. If we get that technology, easily go back and forth, right? If you have that level of technology, very easy. So instead of on Mars, you set a base to cover everything in a dome. If you can breathe freely on Mars, that kind of technology, then you can travel from one planet to another one. Imagine if the alien had that technology, so that would be 100 years more advanced than ours. So
Yeah. Or it could be thousands and
Yeah,
thousands,
thousands
and
of years
millions
more than-
of years
yeah.
more advanced. We don't know.
Yeah, so then they either they show themselves or they kind of give us some clue or something. It's I don't think that's possible, or at least not happening now. Otherwise, they can treat us as pet. They find, oh, these people are funny, interesting.
Yeah.
So they can treat us as a pet, like we treat dogs. We lock them up, they give them freedom, then lock them up again. We will pet them. We kind of
Yeah. But what about, you go to the zoo sometimes, or you go to an animal sanctuary, you can have a very realistic habitat. And they can still be in a cage. Like the universe could be a cage, like there's some smarter life form who has created like this solar system, this like world for us to explore. But the whole time it's like, okay, you can't actually see what's out here.
It's a kind of simulation, It is possible, but that's another thing. Even probably they're real, but we are living like this kind of little dome already, so we just cannot understand them. But they are here already. It's possible. Like the intelligence gap between ants and the humans, right? The ants, they did not understand us. We try to understand ants, but we don't care that much, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So the ants, they have their own colony. They had their own queen. They had their own rules. They had a war between each other, and then they were busy with their lives.
They have very complex societies.
Yeah, they had their politics, but simply we just don't
And
care.
politics.
Yeah, we just don't care, right? If we imagine we are aliens and ants are humans, and we don't care as well. It's probably. But then some ants, they were debating, oh, is there alien, right? The ants, they were debating, is there some intelligence much superior than our ants' intelligence?
Yeah.
It's
funny how we give more value to things that are bigger. I mean, we think about intelligence, but also, like you said, maybe ants are very intelligent. We just don't care. We're like, we can go like this, you're dead, we don't care.
You're
You're small, you're stupid, we don't care.
Yeah.
But if you look at a whale, or you look at just the biggest creatures, or these enormous trees, I actually think the trees are kind of intelligent in their own way. They're intelligent enough to change with the season. Like there are things that they can do.
Or they're listening all the time. They're spying device.
Yeah. But we have no signs of like great intelligence. But we think they're amazing because they're so big and they're so old.
They give us.
It's like, oh, you have wisdom.
Yeah.
Oh, they give us shade too.
Yeah, they give
Ants just get in our food and get away from us.
So we have spray.
Yeah.
That's very brutal.
Yeah. Well, what else did you want to talk about today, Fege?
Yeah, we can talk about a lot of things.
What's on your mind?
I have no clue. It's like actually you brought the marijuana thing. It's like for Chinese people, at least a lot of my friends, we just don't have nothing to do with marijuana.
Yeah.
I don't know myself. From a lot of podcasts I listen to, probably scientifically I say it's not too much damage to your brain, your body, right? I guess that's scientifically true. So there's no permanent damage or something. It's just like for a period of time, you kind of loosen yourself.
I think if you're smoking a lot of joints, it's still maybe not good for your lungs.
Yeah, exactly.
Just inhaling smoke.
Yeah.
But the long-term brain effects.
Yeah. But for me, I know scientifically maybe not damage too much, but still, like for the few moments of time, you lose your control of your mind sometimes, right? You loosen up the mind or that thing. That's why it's like so tense. I don't want to lose any control of my mind. I want to have 100% control of my mind. I just don't have that kind of I don't want to have that kind of idea for some period of time. I don't have 100% control of my mind. That thing, and especially we don't want with our kids. It's I guess a lot of Chinese immigrants here, they're going to be very tough with the kids, when they grow up with the weed.
Yeah, no, I understand.
It will cause a lot of tension between parents and the kids.
And I can say this. I'm in Canada. It's legal. I've smoked weed in my life, but I don't right now, and I don't like the way it interacts with my brain. It makes me feel stupid.
Yeah, that's the thing I worry.
I need to be very careful. That doesn't mean I think everyone who does it is stupid, because I have friends who are really smart, who their way of relaxing at night.
It
So
really
some people
relaxing,
use it to sleep.
Yeah.
Some people who have legitimate insomnia issues can't. I knew people who could not fall asleep without smoking weed.
Also, they have.
And this guy was studying to be a lawyer, like very smart guy, you know.
Also, good with joint pain or something, right?
Yeah.
Arthritis. What is that?
Arthritis or
Arthritis. Yeah.
all kinds of things. But
I think if one time I want to give it a try, if my last moment before I die, I would so the risk free. So I'm dying. I know tomorrow I'm gonna die. Today I'm gonna start smoke. I just want
if
to.
you're going to die, you can try heroin. You try something stronger, you know. But I want to talk what you just said about losing control of your mind.
Yeah. But that's not.
I've been reading more Buddhism recently, and it has me wondering: do you ever have control of your mind? You know, there's these ways of thinking, these schools of thought that would say that we don't actually control the next thought that comes into our mind anyway. Like we are living in this endless stream of thoughts, and these emotions. If I hit my elbow really hard, I would feel this rush of anger, and maybe I would think to myself, "Well, I can't get too angry. I'm on the podcast right now. I have to act normal." But in the back of my mind, I'd be like, "Oh, my elbow! Why did I do that? Damn, you're so stupid." I'd be thinking all these things. Is it really me, or is it some external force? You know?
That's why it's mind control, I guess. Sometimes that's why I said I was naive. When I was in, I guess, my 20 years old, when I was, one time I was thinking about the best life for me would be a Buddhist monk. I really like being a monk. So I will think about nothing else, like no material. I just have some rice, some soup to eat every day. I read the kind of, what is that called? Like the monk, they read those kind of Bible things, Buddhism Bible. Those kind of
they read their teachings.
Yeah, those kind of things. It's not making sense. Also, like the characters, the meaning very different from Chinese, but it's in Chinese. You literally reading Chinese, not understanding those things, and the whole life you're reading that thing, and clean your mind, not think about nothing. So that kind of thing, I was thinking about being a monk. No family, no nothing, no connections. And because at the end, it's for nothing, except it's a life experience. When you die, you die. Nothing comes unless you believe in incarnate.
I was going to say, do you believe in reincarnation?
I don't think so, because otherwise it's going to be full of souls. Like even how about the animals? The deer are going to be eaten by bear alive.
Yeah.
So last moment of the life was eaten live. You know, it's a lot of misery. That's why the life is very crucial. Whoever designed this system, it's very crucial people, or the beings, the super beings, they create this system, because one life survive means the loss of millions of thousands of lives for you to survive. Because the system for you to digest, to get energy, is to consume another kind of similar body, similar biology, biology.
You mean the way we are eating?
You are eating meat to
chicken,
get energy.
Or eating pork.
Because the system,
even beans, you could say, like vegetables are a type of life, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So when the system design, when you digest, the way you get energy, your own energy, is to consume the similar organic stuff, is wrong. Because for you to survive, have to take other people's life, other form of lives for you to survive. So that's the whole design is brutal. So in this game, you have to be brutal to survive.
Yeah.
So even you are vegan, even you are anything you eat, it's coming from alive. You're taking the life. It's very kind of brutal design. If whoever the high up beings or God create the system. So the system is based on the basic rule. The basic rule is your sheer existence based on the destruction of other lives. So that's the basic fundamental rule.
And I mean, the Buddhists will kind of agree when they say that
life is suffering.
Yeah, exactly.
That is like something that's repeated time and time
Yeah.
again. It's like we
Buddhism,
are.
they even don't eat. I don't eat. They don't even eat egg or something. I don't
believe
think-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they said that even you beat me, I'm still smile to you. That's the Buddhism teaching. So they're very kind. So they suffer. They set themselves on fire. The principle of the temple. So
Yeah. You mean out of protest?
yeah, protest. Of,
Yeah.
Even they said that's from the Kung
Not
Fu
all of
movies.
them, though.
No,
There
that's
are
from
people who.
my education of the Buddhism is from the Kung Fu movies, the Kung Fu
man.
novels.
Yeah.
And so when they commit some sins,
Yeah.
they regret their life. Usually the prince of the temple had an affair with another lady, had like a son in secret. So then after 20 years, after the son was 20 some years old, it became a hero.
Yeah.
And then somebody found out, okay, the principal of the temple had an affair with another lady, supposed no sex. So then he felt the reputation damage to the whole temple, so he set himself on fire to say that's like redemption.
Wow.
So that's my education about Buddhism.
It's a very intense choice to set yourself on fire.
Yeah.
It shows. Wow. At least
It's the
you're very dedicated.
Yeah, exactly. To see but overall,
anyone can leave a troll comment online, but if you set yourself on fire, you are really dedicated to what you believe.
But like all our education about Buddhism is either through the parents or the relatives or people.
Mm-hmm.
But myself, I never read anything the Buddhism, those kind of books, never read because it's so difficult to read. But all those kind of things, because either in the movie or in the TV shows, and or the people is talking, we know the Buddhism is like preaching kindness, just being kind, or the incarnation, this life you do good, next life you could be a dog or a pig, depends on which animal you prefer.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not an expert on Buddhism or whatever, but I think there's some very interesting ideas to think about. One of the ideas I heard is, and I don't know if this is every Buddhist that believes it. There are different schools of thought, of course, but there's this school of thought that believes that, so many monks, you're dedicating your entire life to meditation and
meditation, reading that books, and
cleaning your mind and trying to reach enlightenment, I guess, is the goal for some people. Yeah. But all about like reaching a higher state. I'm going to leave behind family and luxury and everything for my mind, for my own soul, basically. But there's this idea of there are people who teach that what matters most is your mindset at the moment of death. And so if someone is dying, like imagine you are a monk who has your entire life you've meditated and you're actually like very respected by your community. And then the moment you die, if there's some mosquito lands on your neck and you're like, oh, stupid mosquito, and that's how you die, you're annoyed, then all of it was for nothing.
Jeez.
Because it's all about the moment you die, you need to have clarity of thought, and the whole life is training for that moment. That's such a like crazy idea for me. I'm crazy, I mean like not bad, I mean like interesting to think about, like wild to think about that idea.
It's just also in Chinese, if you join the Buddhism or become a monk, we call the 出家.
Yeah.
The 出家, literally 2 characters, means leaving your home. So you leaving your whole life, your family behind. So you became you entering another world. So 出家, leaving family.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, seriously. That's why in Chinese, like if some people, usually it's like out of grief, you kind of just lose faith on like the world. You don't want to be part of the world, so you 出家, you leave your home.
Yeah, but I heard the Chinese government doesn't really like religion. Is Buddhism accepted in Chinese culture? Like
Buddhism is not a religion. It's not strict, so it's kind of just a loose
it's
kind of a belief. It's just a belief system. But some people they're more following. They put the Buddha statue, and there's another Guan Yin is a lady. The lady is pretty with the lotus, sitting on the lotus. That's the Guan Yin is the lady. So she's very powerful. They have some magic spell. They have magic. They can turn things. They can suck you out of air to their hand, like all those kind of in the movie. So the Monkey King. So kind of they have superpower. So they can use the hand to press you, like they can move a mountain, like seriously, it's
Wow.
that's the respect or the power of in people's mind. So we always know like the kind of there's another level of the Buddhism. So those kind of we worship them, but very loosely. Some people they kind of put a statue, they put some tribute of the apple, something I don't know the kids are gonna steal or not. But the family, even the Cantonese people, Hong Kong, they are more like following, I guess. But my hometown, nobody tribute anything. So rarely you see the statue, but we all know the well respected. When you say that, you talk quietly. You go to a temple and then you kind of automatically lower your voice. And some people they don't care. But usually we are loud. But when you're in a temple, you automatically. But it's more also the Buddhism is more like refrain yourself or sometimes you kind of it's like a materialism, like you want to maximize what you possess, material you possess.
The Buddhists want to escape that world.
So they try to possess less.
I think that's the reason a lot of people, very few people in society seriously become a monk. But maybe everyone has some day in their life where they think, I wish I could just become a monk.
It's
because we get tired of this material world. We get tired of being like, I have to go to the store and figure out what shirt to buy. You just wear the same thing every day.
Actually,
do the same routine, do the same prayers, eat the same rice.
I practice some of the principle. Minimum. What is the word of minimum consumption?
Minimalism.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I kind of a little bit to that point. You see, I always wear the few t-shirt, like very simple, like the. If people want to sell me clothes, I guess they're gonna bankrupt. In the last 10 years, I had always the same.
Wow.
Even the Brazilian jersey, I had it for 20 years.
Seriously?
Yeah. Wow. The Beckham.
Why you don't? Because you want to save money, or you just don't
save money,
think about this?
I don't think about this one. Is a free one. It's from a university, 20 years anniversary. So my old classmates just.
So if I buy you a T-shirt, you will wear it for 20 years.
Yeah. Usually, if it's good quality, this one is great quality. That's the thing. I like the good quality thing lasts for 20 years.
It's impressive. 20 years with anything is.
Yeah, this one you see 2001. I graduated 2001, 21. So to commemorate the 20-year anniversary. So my classmates, I started computer science. They brought the whole class. They print this T-shirt. So they brought me one, and it happened to be great quality. Mm-hmm. If it's bad quality, after several months, you see it's.
Thank you.
Okay, you eat a little bit more. I get some water and tea. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. I guess you are on the track to finish everything. It's not bad. This one is very light.
I think I did pretty good for this early in the day. I'll never finish those beans, but yeah, it was great food. Excuse me, YouTube. I parked my bike outside. I'm going to make sure it's still there. Still there. Oh. Yeah, I would say I'm impressed by that pork.
Just why did I hold like this? It's super hot.
Was it hot? Oh, thank you.
I guess right now it's we have too many things to think about, so people are gonna worry about a lot of things. So religion, society, everything. So we get more information, we get more to worry. So which is not healthy, I guess. So a lot of people get stressed.
Do you feel stressed in life?
I guess a little bit more. I guess supposed to be simple, but now I have a kid, a family, business, and also you worry about how's the things going.
What's it like being a father? Is it hard?
I try to be less because I think myself. The reason I said I was cynical because the way I was brought up. So too critical thinking. So and also like the environment I grew up or something, I get indoctrination or something. You get you educated the way you were, and then that's why I'm not happy with myself, how I think. So, but every generation, if I teach too much of what I think to my daughter, probably she could be cynical as well. So you kind of make her lose some kind of or what is the
authenticity.
Authenticity. Yeah. So you never know, because my way of thinking is if you don't have too much beneficial stuff, experience to teach, probably you are doing the detrimental thing. If you keep little bit distance, could be a good thing. I have a lot of friends, I see they treat their child, I think it's not a good thing, because they think their life experience is very valuable, very smart to make money, stable career. A lot of things they make good money, stable income, office job. They think that's a successful life experience. They want to force that to their children. I see that firsthand. A lot of them, a lot of my friends are. But that could be really, because for some, if you look at from other people's perspective, your style of life may not be good or may not be even healthy, your thinking.
Yeah.
But then,
and also every generation changes.
Exactly. So
they have their new problems.
Yeah. So it's like for myself, my character or some personality, I find some could be damaged or something. But you don't want to pass that kind of damaged experience to another young mind.
Yeah.
Very young mind. And
how old now?
She's 11, almost 12.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
getting to the age where she will have more and more of her own opinions.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah. So
interesting age.
I need to be very careful to preach too much of my own ideas.
Yeah.
My own ideas could be really, really kind of damaged or like influenced by my own environment.
And also, it must be an interesting question for you, because you have these two societies now that you've got to know in your life. Very different places, China
like
and Canada.
180 degrees, in a lot of cases.
And maybe there's valuable information from both ways of living, because I can imagine if you are an immigrant to Canada, there's some feeling of, okay, like we're here to provide the better future, or I don't want to say
probably
better.
even not better.
It's up to you if it's better.
It's very subjective.
Because I'm sure someone could have a good future in China too, but there's a different way of living here that I want my child to understand and fit into and be a part of. But also there's the family history. There are things that I believe because of how I was raised.
Exactly.
And I don't want my son or daughter to lose that. So it's hard balance, right? You have these two forces.
Yeah, exactly. And also our generation also, like something what we like to happen to see, it's very different or not even realistic. Like the marijuana thing for my generation, myself, I would have never tried. But my daughter growing up here, probably she's gonna try.
You're gonna be angry if she tries.
It's sometimes you need to as a parent, how do you treat this? How to deal with the kind of reality? It's a reality. Mm-hmm. It's a big environment. You just cannot impact. You cannot decide the environment. Mm-hmm. So sometimes, it's very different. And also the East, the West, the East, I'm talking about like Japanese, Korean, Chinese, I guess it's coming from the Confucius teaching, the philosophy. So that's kind of an influence of the Confucius, and the I call it collective thinking, and the individualist in the West. This is very very different, and plus the generation gap. So everything
Yeah.
altogether it's really
So Confucius was collectivist.
is the
Yeah.
it's not even probably philosophy, but it's actually, if you look at it, it's a way of ruling the society, how to rule. It serves the noble people, the upper class, ruling class very well.
Yeah.
That's why it was adopted right away. I guess it was, if you look at the Wikipedia, probably 2,500 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
some BC years. Some
500 BC,
yeah,
something
400,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's so when the Confucius had his own book, like published his own philosophy ideas, how to manage the society, how women has to be subject to men. So how that like the inferior class of people has to be 100% loyal to your superior, 100% loyal. So that kind of, once it's published, once it's known, it's right away immediately adopted by the ruling people.
Yeah.
The king or the emperor at that time. So of the 2,000 years after that, every dynasty they almost all of them adopt this kind of a system. So actually the fabric of the society probably the family, right? So the family value, every family value is based on the Confucius.
Wow.
So when you are kids, when your parents teaching your kid, and that's why we had a lot of discipline. So when you were like 5 years old,
So Confucius was strict.
It's very
for
strict.
the discipline.
Yeah, very strict. So it's kind of a hierarchy.
Yeah.
Very, very strict. So you follow. That's why it's good for it still has some wisdom, a lot of wisdom. But some of them you will see today, oh, it's crazy. You think that way. So if like the very famous one is like, if you're a woman, you have to listen to your father 100%. If your father died, you have to listen. If you get married, you listen to your husband. If your husband died, you have to listen to your oldest son.
Wow.
Yeah, even your oldest son is 18 years old, you are 40 years old. You have to follow the order of your son.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the.
So a woman's life really is.
Yeah. That's the.
It's going from one person to another.
Yeah. That's why it's the history of 1912 is called Republic of China. The revolution, the 1912, they kind of saying like we became a republic.
And here in America, I mean, Kamala Harris might be the president of America. I mean, very different way of seeing the world.
Yeah, because you're growing up, if you're middle class people, or you are from rich family or the middle class family, your view is very different from you kind of growing up in a rural area or very poor neighborhood.
Yeah.
And you have to fight every day to get what you can get, little things.
Yeah.
But the good thing for you to travel is also like very good for you to see different part of. You live in Vietnam for six months.
6 months.
Yeah.
Good memory. Yeah.
And Korea, South Korea, and different cultures, the Mexico or the Europe. So you can. That's why it's good to. For me, the bad thing, but it's not realistic, is you to speak two languages. For people to speak different languages, they can appreciate more about what outside of their own world.
Yeah.
So that will help you to kind of adjust your own thinking, like a twist, like fine tune your kind of your view on the world.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes it's like the people doing the best job could be the immigrants, because the immigrant they see different worlds. So they're more fine-tuned to the reality. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is kind of seeing the world accurate. But the people living different worlds, they probably had the best chance to be closest to the reality.
Yeah, and the sad thing is they often get the least respect too in the new world that they've entered into, because you see this all the time where. Well, I would like to think Canada is not so bad with immigrants, but really this experience exists anywhere. Someone arrives and they have limited local language, and people just think, like this person's stupid. They don't understand how things go here, because maybe they have different etiquette where they're from, or okay, they drive their motorcycle on the sidewalk because everyone did that in the country they came from. And in Canada, people are looking, look at this, like, idiot. What are they doing? They're ruining our sidewalk. They just don't know. They just arrived. They're just driving like they always did. But they, as you say, they have feet in different worlds.
Yeah, and also, like, if you, for example, if you live your whole life in one society only, one environment, and you know everything about your kind of way of thinking, the people, how they behave, that may not be true to other societies. It's more healthy to see different world, or even from the better places. It's better to travel to the little bit not so good places to understand their way of living. To wait. Lot of things, like some people say people's crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, when you see it's crazy, maybe on your side perspective is crazy, but everything happens for a reason, right? It's when they behave crazy, but they have their own logic to behave that way.
I hear so much nonsense about other countries. So many people, when I talk about my travels, will just say, "Oh, isn't it dangerous over there? I hear it's really dangerous," and then they just start talking about all these things that they heard, instead of asking me who was actually there. It's like, I can tell you about the experience. What do you want to know? But instead, they would rather repeat the stories from the newspaper or their friend or whatever. And it's like...
Usually, I think people... That's why doing the YouTube, I don't know you. And if you want to be a super successful YouTuber, one suggestion I always can give, being crazy. Seriously. Like a lot of people, they get like a lot of attention because you say crazy things, right? That's get people's attention. It's also if people getting more successfully, they get more extreme. If you get more extreme, you get more successful. Like the regular people, they just stay in the middle. I want to stay in the middle. I'm just people in the middle. It's mediocre.
But the cost of that is getting more extreme. Is you might be doing something bad for the world.
Yeah, exactly. So
which is tearing us all apart.
It's the one person's gain could be the detrimental to the whole group. So
you watch Russell Brand? Russell Brand.
I guess I like him from the movie Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
That was a crazy movie.
Yeah.
Or Take Him to Greek.
Yeah.
Take Him to Greece. Or
Take
something.
Him to the Greek. Yeah.
That one is crazy.
Yeah, he was a very top tier, popular actor.
But then he went.
Now he's a full-time YouTuber.
Yeah, he became 5-6 years ago. I saw him talking about do not vote because he's anarchist, right? One time he was anarchist. He was preaching the revolution. Yeah, he was totally against the British government or something one time. Yeah,
now he is saying that vaccines are mind control, and the next monkeypox is the new mind control.
People change a lot.
Kamala Harris is a communist, and have you read her secret communist agenda?
I think that's a little bit crazy idea to portray people that way, because I guess in the United States, Canada, it's kind of gradual. It's not very steep trend. It's overall it's kind of progressive because it's moving forward and more just more fair society. It's like, but if you label them to some words I don't want to say, because I'm coming from a country.
Of course.
But like it could be very far from that, very, very, very far. But you can see it's on the way, but we are on the way to death. But you're not saying we are dead, right? It's kind of taking, because the history of us, we are kind of we have one same destination, death, or super fair, super equal. But we are on the way there, far away from it. But if you tell people, okay, you are fear, they put the fear of that reality is today. That's extreme also.
But I don't even know, here's the point I want to make. I don't even know if Russell Brand believes that. because to your point about getting more and more extreme, what can happen sometimes, like imagine that you are a Hollywood actor and then suddenly you're not getting roles anymore, or you start to do a podcast and you start to say some things people don't like, and then no one in Hollywood wants to work with you anymore. And then you have an audience on YouTube who every time you say something controversial, you get 5 times more
Exactly.
views.
You will say more things.
And so the further you go, and if you have on some guests like Alex Jones, someone who's really controversial, suddenly everyone is donating you money and saying, thank you for speaking truth. Then you begin to feel like, okay, actually, this is my destiny. I am the person who tells the truth that no one else can see. And so you start looking for crazier and crazier and crazier things. And suddenly, people who knew you 5 years ago are like, what happened?
Yeah.
What is this guy talking about?
That's why you have to be crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
and
it's the attention thing, you know. It's a lot of times the real thing is in the middle.
yeah. But I wonder sometimes with people like that, if there was no camera and we were sitting together having tea just like that, and I asked him like, so do you actually believe all these stories you're saying every night? Or is it an act? Because you were an actor before. Are you a new type of actor? You are like performing an act about, oh, this is a crazy conspiracy world we live in. But maybe at night you're just sleeping in a big bed and you are rich and you're like, I'm happy.
I guess it's
All these stupid people at home can believe what they want. I'm smarter than them.
I guess it's more about money. It's more about like the revenue sharing up from YouTube. The YouTube give you, if you see like 1 million views, or it's very different from like 10 million to 10,000 views.
Well, even Hillary Clinton and stuff, like even politicians, do they really believe in, oh, like I'm a Democrat because I believe in the working class and I want to help the average American?
No, it's
Or is it just about power?
Yes.
And you picked this side and you learned what to say, and now you get to get this famous book and you get to meet all these powerful people and you get to live this very privileged lifestyle that very few humans ever
And
get to have.
all meals are free.
Yeah.
All meals are free. All
Yeah.
high-end like those cocktail party all free, and people all sponsor But actually, I guess all the politicians, you can see 100% they are not clean, for sure.
Yeah.
But the problem is also on the other side, they are very essential for the society to function. So you have to have those politicians to fight from different angles to organize. They are not very good, but they are very necessary.
Yeah.
It's somehow it's a noble.
Controlling people or
No,
what?
it's noble. Sometimes if you think
yeah.
because without them, how the society functions, it's very, you know, that kind of dirty work. You have to have people to do the dirty work. You know, it's very necessary.
There's an expression, I don't know if you've heard it, there's an English expression that's, I think it goes back to Shakespeare. He said, heavy is the head that wears the crown. So if you're wearing the crown, you are in charge, you have a heavy head.
Yeah.
You have a lot to think about, a lot to worry about. So I think it's the point he was making.
Yeah,
and it's true, everyone thinks, oh, it'd be so nice to wear the crown, but if you actually have the crown, if you're actually the one deciding,
you feel heavy too. Yeah.
Imagine you have an advisor telling you, hey, a nuclear bomb was just dropped in the ocean. Like, this is a threat from Russia. We have to invade. And someone else is saying, no, if you invade, like hundreds of thousands of Americans are going to die.
Yeah.
And they're like, we need a decision. The bomb has dropped. Like, your head is very heavy in that moment. Whatever you do, half the country will hate you. They will think you're a hero. They'll think you're a devil. But you have to do something. Yeah. And most people are afraid of decisions. So it's much easier to stay home and criticize and say, oh, I would have done the right thing.
That's why
decisions are hard, right? Yeah. Decisions are hard.
So I think the politicians, I sometimes you don't like them, but sometimes I do admire their courage to be part of the game. This time I'm not cynical.
Yeah.
I'm not cynical. I see it on the side of it, because without them, who's gonna to fight either the left or right, or if you want to change the society going forward, to make it more fair, to give opportunity, how to organize. Otherwise, people are gonna, they always want to take advantage of other people, right? Because you have to. It's a game. It's like the same thing. You have the design of the biological stuff to eat other live to be live. It's the politics the same thing, but
Yeah.
you are part of the ball already rolling.
Eating smaller politicians.
Yeah, so I'm very nice to them. Actually, in my mind, I think they're doing very important job.
Well, you know, you're also in the game of owning a restaurant. You have stepped into your own game, which not everyone does.
It's a bad game. You join the bad game. If you're a short guy, join a basketball game.
Yeah, but you know, on social media and stuff, I don't know if you ever go on Reddit? Okay, well, you're not missing much. It's
The Reddit,
You know,
but I know that website. It's the forum, right?
Yeah, it's a forum.
Yeah, it's a BBS.
And so there's like a Montreal Reddit, and sometimes I'll check Montreal Reddit, and it feels like almost every day there's a post of someone saying, hey, like I'm 25 years old, I can't find a job. I sent out 200 job applications.
What kind of
and
jobs?
I'm struggling. Yeah, I mean, people usually answer with what kind of okay, something is wrong with your resume, something is wrong here. You send out 200, you should hear back something. But the point is, there are people who are stuck, and even I have a friend in Toronto who is also a smart guy who is he can't find a job right now. He's been looking for 6 months, and I hope he finds one, because it's sad when you hear about those situations. But the point is, most people are stuck in this way of seeing the world of I have to find a job. But what business owners or entrepreneurs are doing is saying, I have to make a job. I'm going to make something that will become a job. And it's a huge risk because it can bankrupt you, right? Which I guess it's a risk, but if you have no job, you have no money anyway. So it's still a risk either way. It's a different way of thinking that I wish more people would adopt, because you know, even like having a YouTube channel has really opened my eyes to the value of like planting some seed and then continuing with it for 5 years, and then suddenly it's become a job. But a lot of people, I don't know. I'm not saying it's for everyone, but not everyone has the patience or the desire to go through that period of a few years of just working for something
It's
that does
very
nothing.
risky. Yeah, the YouTube business is very risky. Actually, the restaurant business is more stable. Actually,
Which one is more?
Actually, I would think restaurant is more stable, because always say our level of business is stable low.
Yeah.
Yeah, you expect like every day you have certain amount of customers. You know, it's like if today is slow, but next day could be busy. So overall, every week you see the similar thing, or it's trending a little bit lower, or trending a little bit higher. And if you open the door and you make okay food, and probably you will get a certain amount, and you can predict a certain level. Our level is low. I'm not sure how do I do it better, but I'm still thinking every day.
But you know, the whole world is unstable.
Yeah.
My friend looking for the job in Toronto, he works in tech. There are people who are educated in what used to be very high demand jobs.
Yeah, exactly. I thought people in Canada or Montreal, at least, we are short of workers, and it's very difficult to find the.
I don't know, man. Maybe ChatGPT is automating all the jobs.
Or maybe like some positions, like certain like high-paying positions are getting less. Maybe, you know, it's like the China same. Like a lot of young graduates, like they have a very high percentage of young people cannot find job, but at the same time, some jobs they cannot find people because the job available they don't want because it's low-paying wage.
Is there any Martin?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
But for me, like the restaurant, it's very hardworking. For me, it's like, but in the last year, I have shoulder issue just by overworking myself.
Really?
Yeah. So I work 7 days a week. I do a lot of work, physical work. So there's no time to rest my shoulder. Somehow this one, I accept the reality already. I think when I'm 70 years old, saying, oh, that's coming from when I was 40. The same issue. It's just certain angle you just feel, but it's not a.
My knees started to hurt today when I woke up. I'm like, oh, I'm becoming old. I have old man knees.
You're not hitting 40. 40. A lot of people think 40 is it's the you can see really the job of your physical activity like from 40. I'm 45, so I feel like, but having a restaurant like is financially is a little bit low risk because you can compensate with your own effort.
Yeah.
Like we just hire less, they reduce the cost by hiring less, and you work myself working more, and so you at the end of the day you balance.
I think it would be cool. I'd like one day to open not a restaurant, but maybe some kind of business like a coffee shop or something, like the New Travel Cafe or something that is.
That's
like,
a good name, actually. Probably a good name.
Like related to the channel, and so. Yeah, first of all, like I'm always meeting people on the streets who are like, oh, Dan, like I'll watch your videos. Or like there's people who might stop by if they visit Montreal because it's like, oh, I saw that video.
Yeah, that's a good.
And then the channel is easy marketing for the place.
Yeah.
So if you have a good location, you have the people of just that neighborhood who would find out about it and go there. But also you have potentially like viewers.
Yeah.
And also the random people who find the coffee shop learn about the YouTube. They're like, oh, it's also a YouTube channel? So it feeds the channel, and then the channel feeds the cafe. So it would be like...
It looks like this beginning of your business. It's New Travel. It's a good name
the
for
New Travel Cafe?
Yeah, it's a good name for a coffee shop.
But Francois Legault would have to make it in French.
Nouveau Travel.
Le Nouveau Voyage.
Voyage. It's very interesting and translate to... We have both French first and English underneath to be good. But like, what is your like plan for your channel or the YouTube channel? The language series is really good, and
thank you. Yeah, I would like to continue it. The last couple episodes I posted have been lower on the views. So one of the issues is there are ideas that are trending, and maybe I just have to keep doing. Maybe if I do a few more, it will go crazy again and get millions of views again. But when I did that big Europe trip and I hit all those cities in a short period, it was growing. And that's part of the reason the revenue was so good. Okay. So if I take another big Europe trip and hit like another 8 cities, which I would like to do once the weather gets a bit colder, I'm going to at least do another Europe trip and hopefully go to Asia as well. But it'll take many thousands of dollars to fund that. And then if I start and let's say I film 5 videos and then the first one gets like 3,000 views or something, it's like, oh my God, I just lost all my money and I have 6 more videos that people maybe don't want to see.
Also the city travel guide, the last one for the Montreal, the 10 places, I guess that's helpful too. But I guess you missed one or two.
What did I miss? Anti?
No, Did you see the old port?
I did Old Montreal, yeah.
Or
I briefly mentioned Old Port as part of Old Montreal.
St. Joseph, you did not mention the St. Joseph. It's very... And also a big part of the Montreal, the travel is the several national park.
Like outside of the city.
Yeah, outside of the city.
True.
Yeah, also the cruise on the river.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, there's so many things.
Yeah.
There's Parc Jean Drapeau.
Yeah, exactly. That one, the Oceaga thing.
Yeah.
And that you see, this kind of guide be very helpful.
You ever been to what's it called? The Expo 67, the houses.
Oh no, Pavilion, those kind of different countries.
There's Pavilion, but there's also I'm a bad Montrealer. I'm forgetting the name. But you can see it from the Old Port across. Hopefully, if someone watches, they'll leave in the comment what I'm talking about. It's across the river, and it's these houses that are. It's what
Habitat, right?
Habitat, yeah. Habitat.
It's a little bit
Habitat
ugly.
67, maybe.
A little bit ugly though, for me.
Well, it was their vision of what future houses would look like.
That's a bad
It was in the 60s. It was like, this is how we're going to live in the future.
Looks like a bad vision.
It looks like Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
It's like cheese with little holes in it.
Exactly.
Yeah?
It's my personal view is not good.
But you can do tours and you can go inside for like $30. And so I've never done it. Maybe now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I'll do it.
Yeah, Montreal is a good place actually.
But I think like for people who are really into architecture, it's a famous thing.
Yeah,
It's a quite famous building.
I guess it's just being
Yeah.
weird.
People still live there.
Yeah, it's just being weird. And then the casino.
You pay millions of dollars for this weird house that's like so
Yeah.
far from everything.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
There's nothing there. I guess you have a good view of downtown, but there's nothing around you at all. Just bike paths.
And also, I guess the Rente-Rapport is probably Rente-Rapport.
Yeah.
The La Home probably at least 10 minutes to explain that
Yeah.
whole thing. It's
Yeah, yeah.
it's beautiful that Rente-Rapport, that whole island is amazing.
Yeah.
So you can do all bunch of things there. They have even their own beach, and then there's bicycle, jogging, do everything, and it's
Yeah.
shady, and you just like you can spend a whole day there. It's relaxing.
That's true. I could do a video about
Yeah.
Park Jean-Drapeau.
Yeah, that island it's kind of a treasure. It's a treasure island.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at it from every angle. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's amazing. Also has a great access to the metro. That's
True,
Yeah,
true,
the,
true,
the
true.
people they have the metro stop there is a genius.
Okay, you're convincing me. I'm gonna do that video.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna make a video about it.
It's amazing. I took my daughter to the La
Yeah.
Home.
I guess we are spoiled because we have so many green spots.
Yeah.
Like where I live, if when I'm thinking, sometimes you wake up and you think, I just want to walk in nature. The first place I'll go is Parc La Fontaine,
Yeah, La Home.
which is it's nature, but there's still people around. If I want more nature, I'll go to the mountain. I'll go to Montreal. And then there's trails where I barely see any. I'll see 2 people all afternoon if I want to.
It's very
But you're
beautiful,
right.
yeah.
Even the island is even bigger than that. And
Also
Yeah.
the another one is the end of the green line is the Parc Anquignon. That park is huge.
I've never been there either. I was meaning to go there. Yeah.
And that park
Yeah.
also, that's why it's the condos are booming. They build a lot of high rise.
Down there, really?
Yeah, because it's convenient because of the metro. And then you have a big park right next to you and a huge shopping mall. You have everything there. That's why it's, I guess, recent years, like a lot of people, they buy a lot of condos there. They build a lot of new condos
Wow.
because of the park. Huge.
Oh, Big Egg, I'm so full after all this delicious food.
You can eat like a little bit more.
No. I'm going to fall asleep if I eat more.
Another thing but it's not easy to do like people's ideas, like interview people on the ideas, because a lot of topics, if you touch this kind of topics, you're gonna piss off some people, and then you talk about other topics.
That's why I've been doing the language question for so long, because it's
Language and food, you barely can offend people.
like when I was in New York recently, I saw you see YouTubers. There's so many YouTubers down there.
Yeah.
We have a shortage of YouTubers in Montreal, but down there it's like a very common thing. And I see in the park these 2 guys. One of them has a camera. The other one is holding a sign. And it said something like, is racism real, yes or no? Like that's the topic.
Oh, that's easy to catch eyes.
Yeah, and so they're doing stuff like that. There's people doing they think of like the most controversial thing they can and try to get people to say crazy things and then go viral on TikTok. And yeah, I just remember seeing them. I'm like, we probably wouldn't be friends. Like, it's just you're doing something very different than what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to capture human moments, and I want the people in my videos to look good. I don't want it just to make people angry at that person. And so, yeah, a lot of the street interview content I don't really relate to, but I like this guy, Humans of New York. He's a photographer who went around New York City just doing like short interviews and photographing people. I like sharing people's stories. Like what we did here, or recently I was talking about, a little bit about your journey with the restaurant. I think that's cool. I think doing that with like 100 people in Montreal would be cool.
Yeah. Especially the immigrants, I guess a lot of people you choose to move to another country to live, and you leave everything behind to country require English language or French language.
Like
and it's very difficult
Yeah.
transition.
But anyone, like, I think it'd be cool to do it with random immigrants. I think it'd be cool to do it with like Justin Trudeau. Like, imagine just a shaky camera, like YouTube video of just like, so what's it like? What's it really like being Prime Minister? Is it hard? What time do you wake up? Just like simple like questions that anyone would be curious about, instead of just standing at some microphone and saying, we as a Canada are a multicultural country and we value like these speeches that were written not even by him. I think it makes anyone more relatable to show up on YouTube videos, and it's actually one of the ways that like Donald Trump has been very intelligent. He sat down with random podcasts on YouTube.
Oh, I saw some.
Like there's some Gen Z kids. It's called Nelk or some NELK. I think it's called. I barely know who these people are, but they're much younger than me. They have a podcast. They're just like vaping, and they sat down with Donald Trump. They got Trump.
They must have some good connections.
Yeah. Well, they had Elon Musk too. I think they got Musk, and then they got Trump.
But it's more popular to talk to real people, right?
Yeah.
Instead of very formal. For me,
And guess what? Like 21-year-olds, they have votes too. So the young people who are watching these, and they're not watching CNN or anything, this is, if they learn about Trump through that, and then Kamala Harris thinks, oh, I'm like, I don't have time for these kids on YouTube, then you're going to lose votes.
back in the days, I spent a lot of time watching CNN to learn English.
Yeah.
My listening part
How
is
was
still
that?
bad.
How was that?
It's great. Don Lemon, that time Don Lemon was big,
Yeah.
and Larry King.
Oh, you remember like him?
Yeah, Larry King.
Yeah.
And I
He
also-
died, right? Like,
Died? No, he's still alive.
did he just retire?
He retired several years ago, but I don't know he died. But he was not in good health.
I thought he died.
Oh,
I
maybe.
thought he died during COVID, but I might be mistaken.
I'm not sure. But he's good. Also, the CBS or something from David Letterman. David Letterman was a legend. I watched a lot of episodes for David Letterman. Was legend. He's, I guess, still number one for the talk show, nighttime talk show.
Do you know Seinfeld?
Yeah.
There was this famous, I don't know if you've seen it, there's a famous video where Seinfeld is getting interviewed by Larry King.
No,
And Larry King had, like, Seinfeld is like the number one show in the world.
Yeah.
And Larry King is so like, so Jerry, tell me about your show. And it's just so obvious he has no idea like what this show is, or like, why did your show get canceled? He's like, was nobody watching? He's like, Larry, we were done with the show. It was the number one show in the world, didn't you know? And he's like, really? Oh, okay. He's just like this old man who clearly has no idea what the show is. And Jerry's getting upset, like he feels disrespected. It's very funny.
But the time I started learning English was a lot of great shows.
Yeah.
Amazing. A lot of island shows. I watched a lot of island shows. A lot of. Do you remember the Rachel Ray? A little bit. The
Rachel Ray.
She was cooking. She was a little bit chubby. Had a little bit the coarse voice. She had.
Rosie O'Donnell?
I'm not familiar. I just know.
I don't know. I don't know Rachel Ray.
Rachel Ray was one time, but not popular anymore. But used to be similar level of Ellen. Similar level.
Okay.
Rachel Ray. She has unique, like the voice, like.
What happened to Ellen? She was kind of canceled. Huh?
She was canceled, I guess. She was canceled.
That was crazy.
She was very.
I did
nice.
not expect that.
Yeah. She was very nice, and she was dancing with Obama. Like Obama was dancing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
she liked to dance.
Yeah, amazing. And
Dr. Phil, you ever watch Dr. Phil?
several times. Actually, Judge Judy was amazing.
Judge Judy, yeah.
It's a great show to learn
Yeah.
English because you come across a lot of scenarios, like people fight, arguments. You like the rent, not paying the rent, or
I used to watch when I was a kid. I
Yes.
watched Judge Judy.
It's amazing, and like it's a fake script or not? I guess people think it's script. That script or like the real?
I thought it was real.
Really? So
I thought it was
so
real,
the, so the ruling was real.
Yeah.
Really?
Small claims court. Yeah.
I thought it was like just for show. You pay people or not paying people to be part of the show. But so that those cases are real.
Yeah, I think it's like.
So who's gonna show yourself like being humiliated in front of TV? But some of them are really ridiculous, right? Some people you see this guy is kind of a bad person, or like,
Yeah, but
you're gonna lose friends. if your friends seeing this side of your story, I don't want to be your friend.
But maybe they also think it's cool. They're like, hey, like I had my moment.
Jeez, you don't want to show that side of you start paying your friends, or you borrow money you do not want to pay, or some kind of arguments.
Can I look it up? Is
Yeah.
Judge Judy real? I want to know now.
I guess the internet will tell you different stories. They have,
I have a feeling it's real.
but the lady is really sharp, quick, and it's like the style is amazing.
Okay, so Judge Judy was a real judge.
But the cases may not be real.
TV court shows aren't real courts. They're a form of arbitration. It's kind of... So it's not staged, but...
I like the God. There's a God there.
Yeah, there's no...
Everybody rise. It's amazing.
Okay, so they say when Judge Judy says $4,000 for the plaintiff, that money is coming from the show's budget, not the defendant.
Okay.
So maybe that's why people do it.
Oh, that's the incentive.
Because like you're not actually losing the money.
Okay. Yeah, you're off the hook.
So if it's like,
And I
okay,
settled the case off the hook.
you owe $5,000, the person looks embarrassed on TV, but they don't lose the $5,000.
Okay.
Like,
At least you lose you're gonna pay somebody, but somebody paying for you.
but you're right. Imagine if like, not only do you owe money, you're embarrassed. in front
Yeah,
of the whole world.
exactly. You lose friends. It's like saying you are kind of. I did not know you are this crazy.
Well, Fig, I might have to go soon. Is there anything else you wanted to
I don't know.
talk about today? I feel like
Should be good.
we talked about Buddhism. We talked about.
Okay.
Did we solve American politics today?
It's not solvable in.
Not solvable.
Yeah, not solvable. But I think it's good.
It
Actually.
was interesting hearing about your thoughts on being a father and China too. It's really, you have a lot of wisdom.
I
from
just
your
question
experience.
myself. Seriously, I question myself. I don't want to pass my bad experience or bad judgment or my bad thinking to. I'm still not sure if some thinking is reasonable or not. Sometimes, at this moment you think you're right,
Yeah.
but next moment, that time I was thinking crazy.
Let me ask you: are you worried about the younger generation? Like we see this rise in mental health. There's a lot of people talking about mental health issues. Do you feel like kids now have a really hard time, or you think it's the way it's always been?
I think it's natural path.
Natural path.
Natural kind of evolution. You have to go through is auto-corrected. You go a little bit too far here, and then people are reasonable. You just always trust people. Majority of people, they're gonna be reasonable. They say crazy things, they're gonna I guess one step back. And some people too far in the future, and then you pull back a little bit. I think people are smart. We have to trust the majority of people, unless you have. That's the thing. The hard drugs are really bad. They really mess their mind. If you have big population, big percent population, they really damage their head. Their mind damaged by the cocaine, by the fentanyl.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Awful.
Yeah, exactly. If marijuana, if you doesn't give you permanent thing, just momentary thing, just affect your mood, affect your being silly. That's totally fine. But if you have cocaine, those kind of hard drugs, and if you have a lot of people like that, that could be the burden of the society also. You have to take care of them, and you want to be nice, kind society. You don't want to, they made their own mistakes, just leave them alone.
You were talking about discipline.
Yeah.
My cousin, she's a teacher now. She teaches like second grade or third grade somewhere in Ontario. And I was asking her about like teaching styles and what it's like being a teacher now. Because when I was a kid, if you were talking too much in class or you misbehaved, the teacher would ask you to go to the hallway. Outside of the classroom, you'd have to stand or sit in the hallway and then, calm down, go there for 5 minutes. Then the teacher comes out, explains why you are here. explains, hey, you can't be talking when I'm trying to teach. Okay, are you ready to come back? Yes, then you come back. So it's a punishment, but it's not physical.
Yeah,
It's just kind of a bit embarrassing for the kid. But that happened all the time. Every single day of my class, someone would be kicked out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was me, not very much, but sometimes it was me.
Yeah.
Timeout, exactly. She said you can't do that anymore. You're not allowed any type of punishment.
Jeez.
There's like a no punishment.
So only reward, no punishment.
You're not even no discipline. Yeah, you're not allowed to discipline in any way. It's like school policy. And also, you have kids who they haven't really developed the same because their developmental years. Everyone was wearing masks for like 2 years, 3 years. So they're not as comfortable looking at faces. They're not as comfortable understanding what a smile means or an angry face means. It was really kind of frightening to hear about what she thinks of the not just young generations. I mean, like people who are like 7 years old now, like really young people, 7, 8. There's the idea of there's a problem right now.
Could be if you
COVID babies, they call them COVID babies.
Also, it's like you have very soft, when you are too nice, too kind, you create another illusion as well.
Yeah.
So like that's why soft people, soft generation, and when you're coming from a family, very nice, treat you like a queen or like a princess.
Yeah.
And when you grow up, you've been all your life like the first 20 years being princess. And when you're adult, when like you just the society is not as rosy as the things in your mind. So it could be trouble. But over time it will be corrected as well. The reality just teach you a lesson. But the time I was in a rural schools, like we had no time out. We just slapped our face. The teacher just literally slapped the face. We were slapped. I was a top student in the class.
Really?
I was slapped many, many times. Imagine the bad kids, bad students. So even the top students in the class, I was kind of kicked or all kind of stuff. The bad students, it's different time.
Yeah. No, my mom definitely. She went to Catholic school. Hit the kids with rulers and stuff, and just.
Yeah, we had the ruler issue all the time.
Yeah,
we had the wood and the triangle thing. We had actually, that's a real story in I guess the third year of secondary, or the second year of secondary. So the big wooden triangle to use to draw the line, angle on the blackboard. The teacher hit me in the head and broke. I had to buy a new one for the class. I had to buy a new one.
Wow.
So it's this big and then the wood this thick.
Jesus.
Hit my head, but my head was fine. Only thing I lost is money.
Strong head.
Yeah. It's wild time, but that's why myself could be a damaged mind.
Okay, we'll go to see how strong your head is again. Okay, you ready?
Okay. Great. Thank you very much for.
Thanks, man. It was a great meal, great conversation.
Thank you. Always nice to see you.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah. My stuff is very casual. Very safe to say you lost your time already. You wasted your time with me. Seriously. So my style is being just simple, mediocre. Two things I like: mediocre, compromise. That's why I'm very moderate. I can never be extreme. Okay, great, man.
Well, your food is not moderate. Your food is great.
Trying still. My mind is not. I have a lot of room to improve.
Thanks, Megan.
Thank you.